Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It is July 3rd, 2024. So, let me give a shout out because I have had 5 new subscribers on YouTube. Yeah. So I'm going to give a shout out. Hopefully you all don't mind. First shout out to Bob, Francis, not Francois, Emilio, and excuse me, I'm going to try to pronounce this. I'm probably going to butcher it. Irigoyen, Irigoyen, Irigoyen. You're a goy like me. JT Bruns and Jen Meehan. So, thank you so much for subscribing. I'm going to try to maybe do that as a new segment. As far as, before the intro, before the update, because I always like to do an update to tell you guys what's going on in my life. Let you guys get to know me a little better, but that's going to be something I'm going to try to do is shout out new subscribers. So basically just welcome you all to the channel. I hope you guys enjoy. The only thing that I ask of new subscribers is I am an occultist, so keep that in mind. But as an occultist, everyone is welcome to my channel as far as race, sexuality, religion. You could be any religion. We basically accept everyone here. So be cool in the comments as long as you're not racist, homophobic, or as long as you're not saying anything crazy, I'm not gonna block you. But I don't tolerate shit. If I start seeing hatefulness in the comments, because we do touch on crazy, touchy subjects, as far as religion and politics and shit. Oh, and that's another thing. I'm basically a moderate. I'm a classic liberal. So, you could be a Trumpy in here, you could be a Biden supporter, I don't care who you vote for. I tell my political beliefs. You can tell yours. As long as you're cool in the comment section, I'll be cool with you. That's the only thing that I ask. But thank you guys for subscribing and welcome to the club. You know. This podcast, honestly, it's probably going to be kind of like a purple pilled podcast. I might mostly be talking about just personal stuff that is going on. So, as far as I told you guys before, yeah, here we go. As far as I told you guys before, if you guys have been keeping up with the channel, by the way, I gotta pat myself on the back, man. I've been on fire lately. I've been putting out like 2 podcast episodes a day, so go check out my backlog, dude. Another thing too, I finally got around to it. I try to be a man of my word. I try not to lie intentionally. I did finally get around to starting the Leave the World Behind. So the pilot episode is out for Leave the World Behind. I'm going to go ahead and promote it. It's a new series I'm starting. It's the first 2 chapters. It's basically an audiobook with commentary, so it's still technically a podcast. And we're going to do some little side episodes as far as like deep dives on certain subjects that we find important that is relative to Leave the World Behind. So go check that out. So, if you've been keeping up with my channel, I do blue pill podcast episodes every now and then to just kind of honestly let you guys get to know me better and Because my thing is, if you're going to listen to a podcast and you don't like the host, why are you listening? You know, the reason as a podcast consumer myself, I listen to podcasts of people that I like, you know, like Sam Tripoli, Eddie Bravo. Like, I genuinely like these people. And I feel like over the years, I've gotten to know them, you know, because they talk about their lives. So every now and then you're going to see episodes where I just kind of focus on just my everyday life, and I just talk about crazy shit that's going on. So if you've been keeping up with just kind of the episodes of what's been going on in my life, you know that I just moved back in with my mother-in-law. I'm not going to rehash it. If you're curious on details, go check out the episode I'm moving out, or I'm moving, something along those lines. Excuse me, I got heartburn. I gotta take my medicine, so you know that I'm not popping pills on here, because you never know, people are crazy in comments. They might look at that and be like, Abe's popping pills. It's heartburn prevention, bro. I think I got acid reflux. That's what Dr. Williams diagnosed me as. And Dr. Williams is the man in the mirror that I look at. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. So I just moved back in with my mother-in-law. We live in a trailer, and it's an old trailer from the 70s, so it's a little wore out. The only reason I bring that up is I got to talk about this, just to vent a little bit, little side rant. People are so hateful in comments, and I'll keep it short, because I talk about this every now and then, and I try not to be a broken record. I was looking at an older video that I put out. It was after the whole Secure Team 10 scandal, which kind of first blew my channel up. I've actually had a couple videos here and there that just have exploded for no reason, and I'm still, to this day, confused. Like, one of them was a Native American ghost stories episode I put out. I don't know why, but apparently Native American ghost stories are super fucking popular, which blows my mind. I still, to this day, cannot figure that one out. I've tried to figure the algorithm out. I cannot figure it out. Like right now, Leave the World Behind. I know I'm a little late in the game, but I was like, oh, this will be awesome. This will get tons of views. That, and I just genuinely want to read the book, but I'm like thinking in my head, this will blow up. Everyone has done movie reviews and podcasts about the movie, but no one has actually did a read along with commentary about the actual book. So I'm like, I'm the first one to do it, you know? I'm a trailblazer. Watch it not blow up. So that tells you how my finger is on the pulse of algorithms as far as YouTube. But anyways, I put out a video years ago of just basically talking about Secure Team 10, of what was going on with him. And I got a hateful comment of someone, because I don't trust anyone, but I'm going out on the ledge here by showing my face, and I try not to show too much of my surroundings, not because I'm ashamed, but because I don't want my location known, because I don't know, no offense, you guys, not all of y'all, but there could be some serial killer on the other end of this who wants to murder me or rape my wife or something. I don't know you guys, you know. I hope you guys are good people. I'm not talking shit on you, but I don't know. But someone had noticed just from the wall behind me, because I was doing a FaceTime episode, and they're like, "Nice trailer, bro." I don't know. I don't like that, and I'm gonna call it out, because why does it matter if I live in a trailer? Why does it matter if I live in a tent? What is it within you that feels that it is acceptable behavior to make fun of someone's living situation? And I've never hid anything. I actually purposely tell you guys my living situation because in the conspiracy community, people accuse people of being disinformation agents, Illuminati. People for some reason are obsessed with our pocketbooks and how much money we make. I've always been open about that shit because I've always wanted you guys to know that I'm genuine. I'm not a grifter. Right now I'm in a 97 Pontiac. It's a shitty looking car. 97 Pontiac. I've showed it before on this channel. I live in a trailer. And the trailer is sadly in a ghetto in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not proud of it. But I'm just being honest. Because I kind of feel that I should tell you guys that shit so you guys don't think I'm like some Illuminati Freemason grifter. I work at a grocery store. I work 50 hours a week whenever the overtime is available. I work my fingers to the bone. My wife works at a gas station. She works her fingers to the bone. So that being said, yes, I live in a trailer. Cool. Do you feel better now that you made fun of me? Because I have an average job and I live in a trailer and I drive a 97 Pontiac. Like, cool. Good for you. Do you feel better now that you made fun of me because of my financial situation? I'm not rich, but I'm not dirt poor either. Knock on wood. I live comfortably. Knock on wood. But I had to bring that up, and it does tie in with what's going on. So, and it's podcast related. It has to do with the channel. So we have a corner store, and they have out in front of the corner store they have a cork board, and I'd never noticed it till the other day. I go up there to. I don't get gas there anymore. That's a long story. Maybe I'll get into it after whenever. If I have time, I'll get into it. But there's a corner store with a cork board, and I think you guys probably remember me mentioning it in a previous episode update. And on the cork board, there's like local businesses, you know, I'll mow your lawn, I do home daycare, shit like that. People's home businesses. So I was excited because I did a little rant the other day about boots on the ground, that people need to get into making zines and making flyers. It's a good way to, it was advice from me on how to expand your audience as far as podcasting. People always forget about physical media. They only think about Twitter. They only think about everything's online now. No one thinks about doing it the old-fashioned way of flyers and shit. So I make handmade flyers. And my idea, because I'm a Sagittarius, here's one of those rare days that you'll find me not shitting on astrology. Because I'm a Sagittarius, it is in my star sign. And here I go sounding like some sort of woo-woo crystal chick. You guys can clip this and make fun of me. Abe's a crystal chick. He's into the woo-woo. I ain't gonna lie, I've admitted it. I've confessed to that the woo-woo and spirituality, certain parts of it, when I'm in the mood, I get into, you know. But Sagittarius supposedly are known to be reckless, as far as they don't really think ahead of time. They just jump into action without preemptively thinking about it. So this is something that I deal with. And honestly, I'm getting better at it. The older I'm getting, the wiser I am. But I thought about it. I only go up to that corner store to get tubes for my cigarettes. I roll my own cigarettes. I actually did a whole video on rolling your own cigarettes. Go check that out. Shameless plug. I was like, man, I should put one of my flyers on the corkboard. I might gain some audience, because this gas station's right on the edge of a highway, but it's right on the edge of the trailer park where I live. So, I don't know, I was just, I guess, being naive and expecting people not to be complete pieces of shit. And I didn't do it. I did not put it on the corkboard. I told my wife about it. She was already kind of like, yeah, I'm cool with it. Just know that they could find out our location. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, that's always a risk. No matter what, anyone can find anyone. You could track me down. If you spent the time, you could track me down. I try to throw little distraction breadcrumbs in different directions to try to throw you guys off, because I never know if someone's a psychopath. But that's honestly, if you're online, that's the risk you're taking no matter what. But I brought it up again, and I'm glad I brought it up again, and I didn't put the flyer on there, because shit's been getting weird in the trailer park. I asked her about it again today, because I was actually drawing up title pages for my podcast, because if you guys are longtime subscribers, you guys know that I used to draw title pages for each podcast episode as much as I could, as long as I had the time for it. So I got like literally a stack of title pages that I drew and colored and shit that I use for the channel. And I have signed them and given them to people, fans and shit of the channel. And I've also, I use them as flyers. On the back side, I put all my info, where to find me and shit, so people can check out the podcast. Two birds, one stone. But I asked her about it again today, and she's like, don't do it. And I'm like, okay. That's why I asked you again before I did it. I wanted to, I just had that feeling to get with her and talk to her. And she's like, there are too many psychos on this in this trailer park. So, let's get into that. So the person I live with, I'm not going to say her name because she does tune in every now and then. And I'm not talking shit, by the way. If you are tuning in and listening, I'm not talking shit. She is a very paranoid person. And at this moment in time, knock on wood, I used to be a very paranoid person. I talk a lot about mental health on this channel because I am mentally ill. And the person who owns the trailer that I live in, she's also mentally ill. And this is not talking shit. This is not degrading her, putting her down. She is a lot like me. My wife, when she first got with me and got to know me as a person, was like, oh my God, you are so much like my mom. As far as like mental illness and personality and shit. We actually have a lot in common. We disagree on a lot as far as religion and politics, but we actually have quite a bit in common as far as like just our energy. I'm trying not to sound woo-woo. I guess energy that we put out. We're just similar. And I'm usually a very paranoid person until I got on these 2 different supplements, which I'm going to one day dedicate an entire episode to, on the benefits and how I feel. And I cannot tell you how much I truly believe in my heart of hearts. Trying these 2 supplements together has changed my fucking life. Like a complete 180. I'm not going to delve super deep into it because I want to save it for a whole episode dedicated just for it, because I want to branch out and start doing episodes on self-help and over-the-counter medicine and shit like that. Herbal medicine, medical alternatives. I want to start delving into that shit. So I'm not as paranoid as I used to be, but I do understand I was paranoid super fucking bad, which is one of the reasons I'm glad that I live where I'm at, because I have insomnia and I get up too early and I drink too much coffee and I get too nervous. And I used to live an hour away from where I work, so I used to, with my paranoia, it started weighing me down to the point where I was missing days of work because I was too paranoid to go anywhere. And if you have really bad paranoia, you totally get it. The people who don't struggle with that specific mental illness, they're like, get over it, you big baby, you pussy, you know. And it's like, try to walk a mile in someone else's moccasins and you'll get it, you know. I kind of wish we had Neuralink. I'm being facetious, by the way. I really don't truly wish that, but it would be kind of cool to just transfer how you feel to make someone else feel how you feel every day. I would love to do that. I always tell my wife that. Not that we were arguing about it, but like, I always told her I wish I could take my head off and take her head off and switch it just for an hour so she can feel how it feels to be me. Because all I can do is describe it to her. But, long story short, my mother-in-law, I believe about 50-50 of what she says, because she is paranoid and she had an incident, which I talked about on this channel years ago. It could have been bad medication because they switch her on and off different meds and shit, which I'm not judging because I've been on meds before. I've been honest about that on my channel. This is a safe space. But we had a crazy situation. I've talked about it before. So it's hard for me to believe her paranoia. About half of it I think is true, and about half of it I think is just in her head. But I always keep my ear out, and I'm always willing to listen. She sits on the porch during the day and watches the street. I love her to death, but she's kind of like this older woman. She likes gossip. She's even admitted it, so I'm not trash talking her. She even has tried to get me into it, and she's like, you're no fun. You won't gossip with me. And I'm like, no, I won't, because I hate gossip. Once in a blue moon I do it if it's conspiracy related, but for the most part I don't care about gossip. I'll gossip about the elites because they're pieces of garbage, but she sits on the porch and just watches everyone like a hawk. The other day she seen someone walking by and taking a picture of my car. Now, this one, I believe, when it comes to her paranoia. Because I used to live in this town called Lancaster, Kentucky. And I don't care to share the location because I don't live there anymore. So you can't find me and murder me. I used to live in this big white house I did a whole episode on it. It's called My Mom's Haunted House. Go check that episode out if you like paranormal shit. It used to be a hospital, and a lot of paranormal shit has happened there with multiple family members. But I used to live in this house, and the reason why I'm telling you, you'll see. So right next door to it is a huge water tower, and everyone knows the Lancaster Water Tower. It's pretty much a landmark. I lived right next door to it. Like, literally, you could throw a rock and hit one of the legs of the tower. We used to have cops who would pull up and park there, and you would see cars pull up beside them, sit there and talk with them for like 15-20 minutes and pull off. And you could sit there with a notepad and paper and figure out the model. If you had binoculars, you could write down their license plate and figure out who was the snitch in the town. They actually had paid snitches in Lancaster, Kentucky. And now they can also use blackmail and shit, like, oh, we'll arrest you for this warrant or we'll wipe it clean. And if you guys don't think that crazy type of shit happens in the police force, you're fucking crazy. Sorry. There's shadiness in every police force across the nation. There's some form of shadiness. But I believe, and she believes, and I'm not, well, I wouldn't say I believe, I'm just saying I don't doubt her, that the same thing goes on in that trailer park. Because the trailer park we live in, there's so much fucking crime. There's like really nice houses next to complete shit. I'm talking broken windows, boarded up with plywood. You know, you walk outside and and the sad thing is like the actual trees and grass and like, it's beautiful nature around there. But man, just the most shittiest fucking people in this trailer park. Like, they're all druggies. Half of them live in tents. They're couch surfers. Just nasty motherfuckers. Like, we got lucky, the neighbor across the street from us, it's a real good stand-up family. Like an Irish family. Christian family, Christian values, just good fucking people. Beautiful, nice house, and they're surrounded in the slums, quite frankly. So someone walked by and took a picture of my car. Technically, it's their First Amendment right. You know, I am super big on watching First Amendment auditing videos. If I had seen it myself, I would have walked to and approached this person, because as much right as they have to take a picture of my car, I have just as much right to confront them and go, "What was that? Why are you doing that? Who are you?" I don't like that. Now, playing devil's advocate, and by the way, I'm not naive. I have moments of naivety. I have moments of innocence. But I've been around the block a couple times. I do have, playing devil's advocate, I do have a shit ton of bumper stickers on my fucking car. I mean, when I'm talking a shit ton, I am talking like, when I worked at a liquor store in Danville, I literally had a customer come through drive-thru and said, "Whose old Pontiac is that in the parking lot?" I said, "Mine." "Why?" And he said, "That thing's a hoopty, that thing's a clunker, but it's held up with stickers." And I just started laughing, because I have hundreds of fucking bumper stickers all over my car. I could never commit a crime because I would be identified in 2 seconds. Like, I am not camouflage. I just like bumper stickers. And I notice when I podcast, I always park with my ass end hanging out. Not hanging out, but my ass end out to the driving lane in parking lots. And I always notice sitting in the car that people walk by and they'll stop and look at every sticker I have. It's my collection, bro. I'm proud of it. And they like it. You know, I always see them smiling and like, oh my God, they've been here or they've been there. Or, it's just cool. People love that shit. And I don't mind people checking it out. But, so it could have been that. It could have just been, honestly, one of those innocent moments of someone walking by and taking a picture of like, hey, check this out, man. Like, look how many stickers this guy's got, you know? But, so that was one incident that I had here recently at the trailer park. Let's see. I'm going to get into one more crazy incident that happened to us the other day. And we'll probably finish this episode off. Alright, now I have one more story to tell you, and I'll keep it short because it's really not that long of a story. Or I'll try to keep it short. I've been long-winded. By the way, my hair is long enough I can start tucking it behind my ears now, and I don't look weird doing it. Kind of like it. Sorry. There's that vanity coming out. Oh, you're so vain. I bet you think this song is about you. Bet you didn't know I sang twice on this podcast. I bet you didn't know that this was a sing-along podcast. If I knew how to do editing really good, I would put, during singing segments of the podcast, I would put subtitles, karaoke titles, so you could sing along with me. But no, dude, and another thing too, side note, it is so fucking hot here in Kentucky, dude. It's been like hot for like, I'd say like a month at least, maybe longer. It has been like 90 fucking degrees like crazy. So this happened the other day. We had, my mom, my mother-in-law, had a couple living with her. And this is back when we had our own apartment. And these people, I'm sorry, are just shady as fuck. I do not like them. Just shady motherfuckers. They're druggies. One of the girls has like a Latin Kings tattoo. So she used to be one of the Latin Kings bitches. Which I didn't know until I ran into her, and I know gang tattoos and shit. Because I've been to jail 3 times and I'm a fan of true crime, so you learn that type of shit. And I've been around the block a couple times. I know who the fuck the Latin Kings are. She's a Latin King bitch. And she's dating this guy who has like a deformed arm, like a T-Rex arm. And I'm not making fun of him because of that. But this guy like refuses to get a job. He's an alcoholic. He used to smoke meth. Apparently he's like smoking some new form of synthetic weed that's out now. And I'm not gonna lie, I've tried the shit back in high school, back in my running and gunning druggy days. Back then we tried this shit. It was called potpourri, which is basically ground up fucking incense is what people were smoking and getting high off of it. And spice. I don't know if you guys remember spice, but I smoked it like one time. Long story short, it made me super fucking paranoid. Super paranoid. Well, I wouldn't say paranoid, but it made me feel like I was doing something bad. That little inner child came out. Like, ooh, I'm doing something bad. And the whole vibe just felt negative. The high of it felt negative. I was like, no, I'm good. I tried like 1 or 2 hits and I got a little buzz and I was like, I don't like the way this makes me feel. And I stopped doing it after that initial reaction. And I also seen my ex-sister-in-law smoke a couple hits and literally fall flat on her fucking face and like start having a seizure. And I was like, and I literally started yelling at everyone in the room, this is why I told you not to smoke this shit, you know. But apparently these people, they do synthetic weed. They were hanging out, him and his girl were hanging out at a heroin dealer's house. Like 2 trailers down, there's a heroin dealer. This is the type of neighborhood I live in. And their names are Jacob and Sabrina. I don't give a fuck because I don't like these people, so I really don't care. They don't, as far as I know, knock on wood, they don't watch my channel, and I really don't care. They're fucking idiots, both of them. And they were living with my mother-in-law before we moved in. She kicked their asses out. He doesn't work. He eats, literally, he will eat all fucking day. He will eat all the food he can. He was stealing from my mother-in-law, like weird, crazy shit. This is how I know that these people have been in and out of jail, because they were stealing toilet paper. And I don't know if you guys know, toilet paper is like a currency in jail. And there's little habits that you can tell that someone has been in jail. Like one of them is they'll take a shit and flush multiple times while they're shitting. And people laugh and they go, oh, you've been to jail, because it's like a courtesy flush. There's little things that people can tell, you know, you've been to jail. Shit like that. But like when they were stealing toilet paper, I started laughing because my mother-in-law was telling me about it. And I was like, oh yeah, they've been in and out of jail, you know. They're just not good people. But apparently Jacob and Sabrina were hanging out 2 doors down at some heroin dealer's house, and one-armed Jacob got in a fight with the dude and punched him in the face and ran out the door and ran 2 houses down to our house. And we have a chain link fence to our backyard, which is all chained up and shit. He jumped the fence, fucked up our fence. This is all, by the way, at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm at work. My poor wife and mother-in-law are home alone. So imagine how I feel hearing about this, like, and not being able to protect my family. So the cops eventually came to our house and was checking out at the side of the house with flashlights and shit. My wife went out there. They wanted to go through our house and investigate it. I guess they probably, in their minds, thought that they probably knew Jacob and Sabrina used to live there. And, they know this shit, because there are so many undercover cops around there. There's snitches around there. They know what's going on in that trailer park. So I'm almost 100% certain they're like, oh, this is like one of their home bases. Which obviously they didn't find them there, you know. But he went to jail. Jacob went to jail, and good. And apparently he's abusive, and his girlfriend Sabrina is paranoid to leave him because she's scared that he's already threatened that he'll have family members kill her if she ever leaves him. And it sucks, and that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. That's a whole nother subject for a whole nother podcast of women getting out of abusive relationships. Maybe one day we'll cover it as a blue pill episode. I don't know. It makes me sad because this is something that me and my mother-in-law have been butting heads on because we live there, and she kept having these people around. Knock on wood, she has pretty much cut them off. And I had to have a talk with her. I was like, so are you done now? Did you finally cut these dumbasses off, these 2 dumbasses, like, from your life? And I get it. She's trying to be a good Christian, and she has a heart of gold. She was trying to help these 2 kids out. And I'll call them kids because they're both young and dumb. She was trying to help him out, but I said, there's got to be a point where you draw a line in the sand, and you've got to learn how to harden your heart a little bit, because hardening your heart is not a bad thing when it comes to self-preservation and protecting yourself and protecting your castle and protecting your horses, which would be your vehicles, and protecting your gold, which would be your money and television and shit like that. There is nothing wrong with hardening your heart to protect yourself and your family and your loved ones and shit like that. I would like to go into deeper conversations about, honestly, the Kevin Bacon character and Leave the World Behind. Shameless shout out, but we'll get into a whole conversation of self-preservation, helping others as much as you can, but not overextending yourselves. We'll go into deep philosophical conversation as far as like issues like that. And I told her, I was like, it's good to be Christ-like, but there has to be a point where you have to harden your heart a little bit to protect yourself. And these people are shady as fuck. This is just negative. This is common sense shit. Let me wrap it up, because this is just common sense shit. And Alcoholics Anonymous, which I'm a member of, I'm a friend of Bill, we call them lower companions is the title that we put on them. Lower companions are people who are living non-sober lives, or people who will drag you into trouble, or people who will cause drama in your life. And they tell you in Alcoholics Anonymous, this is where people say it's a cult. But honestly, in my opinion, it's a good cult. A cult, not occult. There are certain people that you have to cut off. And I think it's time that they are completely cut off, in my opinion. That's all she wrote. That's my crazy story that's going on as far as where I live, the trailer park. Let me close this out by plugging my shit. I have a new Rumble channel, and as far as I know, it's working. Their search engine sucks, because yesterday I could find my channel. Now suddenly I can't find my channel. So please find us on Rumble. Please subscribe, follow, whatever they call it. Hit the bell notification. It's Conspiracy Corner Podcast. The profile picture is a bunny rabbit. We're easy to find. We have the first 4 episodes out. Knock on wood, tomorrow. It's 4th of July, so happy 4th of July, everyone. We should be able to put out several more episodes, because it downloads actually quicker than YouTube as far as putting shit out. So good on you, Rumble. Try to find me and hit me up in the comments. If you find me on Rumble, let me know, because I'm still trying to figure that website out. So I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Try to find me, follow me, subscribe to me, and let me know if you're able to find me, because it's saying on there every time I check it out that we're getting views on episodes, but I don't know. I think they have a shitty search engine, search bar. And I'm not shitting on Rumble, so don't take this as I'm shitting on Rumble if you're Rumble and you're listening. Check us out on there. We just started Leave the World Behind. We are doing an audiobook with commentary. I did chapters 1 and 2 today. Hopefully in the morning I will put out maybe chapters 3 and 4, maybe 3, 4, and 5. I've been grinding, baby, so stay tuned. You can find us on Spotify, Rumble, YouTube, and hit me up in the comments. If you subscribe, I'll try to shout you out. And I love you all, and have a good day.